Hey all, Heretic here. Today in the Battlegrounds, we're going to be talking about all things pirates and duos. We're going to get minions leaving, minions changing, new ones, all the fun stuff with spells. A lot is going to change here, so I love pirates especially, so I cannot wait to dive in. First, we need to start with the pirates that are leaving, the friends we have that have to go somewhere else. And I don't really love some of the minions on this list. The fact that they're leaving, I'm kind of sad. Others I don't care about, but the ones that I care about, I really care about. Now, first, we have to start with the Gift Pilferer. I don't care. I think this was on my board for about 3 times in the entirety of this meta. I feel like that was 3 times too many. Not a big fan. Corpse Refiner, gone. Now, this one I do like. There's a lot of times I've managed to get this on the board and actually get some decent value out of this thing. And a lot of times where it's baited me into putting it on the board, it gets sniped early, or because it's weak compared to everything else, I end up losing and die early because I was trying to be too greedy in farming. Corpse Refiner I will actually miss. Pros Sea Sentry, gone. This was one of those fun cards you'd cycle in to get yourself a decent health buff, but other than that, not a big loss there. Landlubber, gone. Now this one caused a lot of issues in the game at a lot of different points. I'm not really surprised it's leaving now. I'm just kind of surprised it stayed as long as it did. It was so problematic for a while and it had to move up and down in the tiers. It just never really felt like it was an easy fit anywhere. That being said, gone now, don't have to worry about it. At tier 4, we have the Ice Fisher gone. Now this card, I do like the effect. Getting this early was great, fun to cycle a bunch of cards. I hated the art on it, and I'm happy to see it kind of go because of that, because it's so damn ugly. Plunder Seeker's gone. This is one of those spells that it's fun when you have a full pirate board, but otherwise kind of meh. And I preferred the first version of this because it was fun when you add all those cards to your hand and you had a Peggy on board and they're just like buff, 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 buff. I'm gonna miss that. That's all I got to say. Salty Looter just came back. Salty Looter changed. Salty Looter is gone again. Well, they were here for a little while, I guess. Record Smuggler. You know, this pirate you very rarely kept on your board, but you know, you'd be cycling a bunch of cards. The very last card you'd put down would be something like this just for the extra gold at the end of the turn. I actually liked this card, even as a bad triple. It gave you a little economy. It had a decent stat line. I am going to miss the few times I did use Record Smuggler and that they're gone. And finally, Fleet Admiral Tethys is gone. In my opinion, my favorite card in the game. Now, Bran I love because Bran allows me to do all the different APM builds I like. Like, you have to have Bran to do all these builds. So Bran's probably in reality the favorite because it enables so many things. But Fleet Admiral Tethys, something about getting 2 gold in one of these and just the turns would never end. You could have infinite turns and you could just go and go and go and you'd still lose to an AFK board of Quilboar who are like, yeah, we're good. Now, how many cards did you play? I played 3. I'm going to miss Tethys. I'm very, very unhappy at his departure. And I'm hoping that as we reveal some of these other cards, there'll be something to take his place that'll make me happy. We'll see. All right, let's talk about the minions that are returning or changing for pirates. Now, first thing we're going to start with is the Free Dealing Gambler. It's back, tier 2, 3/3. This minion sells for 3 gold. Folks, do you have a quest, hero power, whatever you have to do that involves you having to cycle a card or spend gold? Free Dealing Gambler is the answer. See it in the shop? Buy it. Need to buy something else? Sell it. Oftentimes that cycling itself is worth it, just gracing your board for just a minute. Love this card, one of my favorite tier 2 cards, just because you never knew it was there, but boy, as the person who used it, you enjoy the effect sometimes. Peggy Sturdy Bone is a tier 3 2/1 pirate now. After a card is added to your hand, give another friendly pirate +1/+1. Not a horrible change. Now it's at tier 3. We'll get it a little sooner when it will probably be more effective and we'll have more time to cycle some cards. This does feel kind of like a tier 3 card to me anyways, even at the reduced amount it's doing the buffs, instead of being 1 minion instead of 2. I like this, so I'm happy with Peggy at 3. Lovesick Balladus got a bit of a change. Tier 3, 3/2 pirate. Battlecry, give a pirate +1 health improved by each gold you've spent this turn. Not bad. I'm still okay with this. Gunpowder Courier, a tier 4 3/6 pirate. Whenever you spend 5 gold, give your pirates plus 2 gold. I like this. I got no complaints. It's not a bad buff. 5 gold's easy to cycle. All right, let's go. Now it's time to start with the new pirates. The new exciting things that are gonna make it fun to play pirates, I hope. Let's see. We're actually gonna start with the tier 4 spell. 2 gold, Marauder's Contract. Steal a random pirate from the tavern. I mean, if there's only one pirate in the tavern, this is 2 gold. You know what you're gonna get. Not bad value. If, say, it's a free dealing gambler and you know it's worth 3 gold, you spend 2 gold, you get the gambler, you make a gold. I like this. There's obviously fun things we can do with this. Yeah, there's going to be the time when there's 4 things you want in the shop, but you only get 1, but you're getting a random one for 2 gold instead of nothing because that's all you have. So it definitely works. I have no complaint about that. The reason why we led with that is because of the tier 3 gritty headhunter 5/4 pirate battlecry, get a Marauder's Contract. So you buy this from the shop and you immediately can get another pirate if there's one in the shop. Yeah, it's random, but that's still pretty good. And because this is a actual tavern spell and not like a spellcraft or something like that, you can just keep it and hang on to it until you have a target, or at least a worthwhile target for it. I like this card. It's got a really good stat line. It's going to give you a pirate eventually. It gives you a spell. If you're just trying to cycle cards in and out of your hand, you're throwing buffs around from various other minions. Looks good. Race Farsail is a tier 3 3/4 pirate, has choose 1, gain 2 gold next turn, or gain 4 gold in 2 turns. This is a really interesting card that is really going to pose some questions to you about when you want the gold. How strong are you? What's happening? What current season is it? So which mechanic are you going to use? Are trinkets back? And you know in 2 turns you're going to have your trinket appear. So maybe you want to play this and get the 4 gold on that turn. Maybe you know you're tiering in the next turn and 2 gold's not going to make that big a difference and you have plenty of health. So you can get 4 gold in the turn following that. There's going to be a lot of different ways. You're going to have to do the math in your head on the fly about where you're going to get this value. 2 next turn is really good. 4 in 2 turns is better, but you got to be alive to take advantage of that. So it really depends the state of your board, your opponents, and what's going on. And now we have what is possibly the most delightful card I have seen so far. In all of it, this is the one that opens up my eyes the most and makes me think of evil potential. The tier 4 6/6 pirate, Doubloon Grifter. Whenever you get 4 pirates, increase your maximum gold by 1. Now this one gets me excited. Earlier I had a video where I was questioning about the number left and I was thinking, oh, well maybe that's how many times you can do it per turn. But I think now that I'm really thinking about it, the way they put it and what I'm seeing is that's just how long until it activates. Now this card is going to take you a little while to really appreciate the insanity of it, because you just have to get 4 pirates to permanently increase your gold turn after turn. I think at tier 4, this might be way too good. Now, it's not going to start working until you're on tier 4 also, because you're not going to add enough to your hand to really matter. But if you get 2 of these, if you triple this, if you hit a brand, you can really insanely quick, with just some good luck, bring your max gold up to a level where now you can essentially go infinite all the time. This kind of feels like this is the idea of Tethys. Tethys is, I'm going to give you a ton of gold. This one says, I'm not going to give you gold or minions right now, but in the future, I'm going to give you more and more and more and more, and it's really going to get silly. I think this won't stay on tier 4 for long unless I'm really misreading it or people just have bad luck with it. But I think this thing really raises the bar on how much you can do in a turn relatively quick. Yeah, you're going to have to get this, and then you're going to need 2-3 turns to really start seeing value from it. But if you have 1 good turn with a brand, you can just insanely quick get everything you need to add a bunch of gold to you forever. So this is going to be really fun. I am super excited about Doubloon Grifter. Tier 5 4/7 pirate, dual-wield Corsair. Whenever you spend 5 gold, give 2 friendly pirates 4/4. Now this is fantastic. I am super excited about this. That is a good bit of buffing you're giving. Heck with my Cannoneer, it's just giving 2 attack. This thing is going to give 4/4 to 2 of my pirates. This is just good in a menagerie build, right? You run this and 1 other pirate, and you just let it buff itself and the other guy to the moon. It's going to be crazy. I really think this card has some fun potential too. This sitting next to the Grifter is going to produce a lot of really big, stupid boards for pirates that are going to be so much fun until they get nerfed into the ground. Next, we have the 5/5 neutral Coast Guard. Battle cry, refresh the tavern with pirates, then steal one. So this neutral card, I'm assuming is only going to be in pirate lobbies, is going, because it wouldn't make sense if it was in other lobbies, right? Why would you want a shop full of pirates? That'd be weird. But you play this, and it's going to get a random pirate that from the shop after it generates a whole shop full of them. But we've already got a bunch of cards that want us to cycle pirates, and so many of these pirates are so synergistic that this is just going to be fantastic to cycle. But the effect it gives, considering all the other effects we've seen, means it's going to be really good at what it does, helping you find the pirates you need to win the game quickly. 3/6 Spacefarer. Whenever another friendly pirate gains attack, gain +3 health. So this thing is going to gain 3 health whenever a pirate gains attack. Now, that doesn't seem crazy to you, then you haven't listened to me about all the other attack buffing minions we're talking about that will also be buffing this thing's attack. It's not like there's no way this thing's attack isn't going to go to the moon. It's going to get crazy high, and it's going to have hundreds and hundreds of health relatively quick in a full pirate board. So I really think this thing is going to be silly. I almost feel like 3 health is maybe way too much, maybe too much, maybe 1 health would be okay. I feel like 3 is going to be insane. I don't know. We're going to get some games in and find out, but I am excited to do some APM, that's for sure. Next is the Salty Hog. This tier 6 5/13 Quillbore pirate. After you add 3 cards to your hand, give your other minions +1/+1 3 left. Now, I completely fumbled the ball on this with the Quillbore the more I think about it. And this one is definitely going to be that 3 is just telling you how many left you have to do. Initially, I was thinking it was like the Quillbore, where normally that's how many times they can activate a turn. But yeah, clearly this is what it means. My brain just confused the 2 ideas together. This is gonna scale your board decently, and seeing all the other things we're talking about that are gonna increase your gold, add additional cards to hand. This thing quickly looks like an APM monster, and I adore Salty Hog. This is going to be fun now. I totally throw away what I said before. I was thinking of it only being able to work 3 times a turn. This thing is clearly going to be better than that. This is kind of nutty, folks. I think pirates are in an amazing place now. I desperately mourn the passing of Fleet Admiral Tethys, but the new direction we're going in looks really promising. Pirates unite. I think we're gonna have ourselves a fun season. All right, duo players, are you ready? Are you prepared? We've got a lot of changes to the duo, so let's jump right into it. First, we're gonna start with what's leaving. And it's pretty easy. It is Portal in a Bottle. Tier 4, 3 gold, pass a non-golden minion, is now gone. Didn't play many duos. I don't know how insane it was, but when I remember, it was a decent card from the few times I did play, so sorry, that one's gone. Now let's turn to the new things. We got nothing returning. Everything's staying the same. We're just bringing in new fun things, duo players. Let's start with the spells. First, we have Tier 3, 3 gold, Portal in a Fountain, pass a minion in the tavern. Pretty simple. Teammate needs it. Cast the spell, they get it. All good. Next, we have Tier 5, 2 gold, Portal in a Crystal, pass a friendly non-golden minion. Does this seem familiar to you? It should. But here you go. You can pass your minions now. Finally, at tier 5, 5 gold, we have Bargain Bundle. This is discover a minion. Your teammate gets the other options. Now let's talk about this. I don't play a lot of duos, but the value proposition seems poor here. And the reason for that being is it's 5 gold. You get to discover from 3 minions. So that's good. But the issue with that is it doesn't say anything about the tiers. So it could be from any tier you have access to. But if it pops up 3 tier 1 minions and you spent 5 gold on it on Turn like 10, 12, that isn't going to feel good. So I don't really know how much I love this spell at that cost, but maybe I'm missing something. Duo players, clue me in. Is this bad? It looks bad. I guess it could be good. Jumping over to the minions now. The new minions we have, we're starting at tier 4, 6-1, the Shifty Snake. Death Rattle, your teammate gets a random Death Rattle minion. Not bad. 6-1 stats. I mean, I love the attack. I don't love the health. The Death Rattle is your teammate gets a Death Rattle minion, which can be good. Yeah, you have this on your board for a few turns. If you get this early, it can be good potential value. But at the same time, I don't know how much I actually want this on my board. It depends what I'm playing. I'm N'Zoth. Yeah, you can reborn this thing. You've got your fish. You really can feed a lot of value to your teammate, but situational. I don't know. It's just interesting looking. I want to try it to see if I like it. Jumping over to the demons now, we have tier 6 Two-Faced Doomguard. This is a 3/3. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to your hero and give your team's minions +3/+3. That means you and your teammate will all gain 3/3 to your minions, including itself. It's going to buff everything. Interesting. If you're running a demon board, you have a way to prevent this damage, that's fine. If you don't, I don't know how much I love this, but even 3 damage isn't bad for that amount of stats. You're each running 7 minions. That's pretty good math in my book. I mean, you could, in theory, run this with a Drakari to double that effect. There are times when that can be good, and it has some potential. I don't know. This seems like it really can be decent. I really do want to get some games with this thing. Dragon players, tier 4, 5/2, Selfless Sightseer. Battle cry, increase your team's maximum gold by 1. This is a big deal. This isn't something you're going to keep on your board typically until you triple it, maybe, if you happen to be able to go that angle. But oh my, the maximum gold thing's pretty good. If you're running a brand, this is an easy cycle card. I mean, wow. Everyone getting +1 gold. I like this a whole lot. Elementals, we have a tier 2, 5/1. Gathering Stormer. When you sell this, your teammate gains 1 gold, upgrades each turn. I mean, if you get it early, it's a 5/1, which means it'll kill whatever it hits, but it's got 1 health, so it also dies. Now, it's going to give your teammate an extra gold when you cycle it, be it immediately or later, but I don't know how much I actually want this on my board. Yeah, when I sell it, we can get a bunch of gold, but we have to be super strong to get the value out of it and not die, because it's a 5/1. It dies to everything. That seems like it's just a really good card that you just happen to generate and you sell it for the extra money more than you actually want to play it on your board, because I feel like it's too delicate to really make me want to put it on my board. Mech players, we got a tier 6 1/1 Transport Reactor. Magnetic has +1/+1 for each time your team has passed this game wherever this is. So it's an aura effect. If you're playing heroes that want you to cycle and pass a bunch of cards back and forth, that is going to give you a nice big stat bump on this thing. Could be a lot of fun depending how much passing you and your teammate do. This really could be quite powerful in the late game if you commit to it and can find it. Be interesting. I kind of want to see it at play. Murloc players, tier 4, 2/6, Ocean Floor Rummager. At the end of your turn, give your team's minions +1 attack for each different bonus keyword in your warbands. We're going to see more about this when we actually do the Murloc release. I'm kind of wondering why they didn't do duos last, because then people have questions about why these are important, but keywords are going to matter to Murlocs. But keywords are things like Divine Shield, Taunt, Wind Fury. Those are keywords, as far as I understand it. And that is going to be how it determines the bonus it gives. So if you're running a bunch of different keywords, your minions get a bunch of attack. This has some serious potential if you need a lot of attack. Naga players, tier 4, 5/4, Private Chef, Spellcraft, choose a minion, get a different random minion of its type, then pass it. If you know your teammate is playing mechs and you know he's already got a triple of something he's not going to need any more of, but you've got one in the shop, target that. It's going to give them another one of that tribe. This has some real good potential. I like this a lot, especially as a spellcraft. Now, I don't know how much I want to keep this on my board, but I definitely do like it for at least cycling or the short term when I just happen to find it and it's got a nice stat line, so I take it because it's stronger than what I have. Certainly has some potential. It'll be interesting to see how it all works out. Pirate players, tier 3, 6-3 wheeled crewmate death rattle. Reduce the cost of upgrading your team's tavern by 1. Now, in your normal battlegrounds, upgrading the tavern isn't as big a deal, but in duos, it really gets expensive and is harder to do. This thing making it cheaper and at tier 3 with that stat line is pretty good, especially if you can get extra triggers out of that death rattle. I feel like this card is really interesting, and I am actually really looking forward to seeing this one in play. I feel like if you could triple this early, if you can get a macaw next to it, something along those lines, just keep triggering it, get a Titus Rivendare. Oh my, tiering for free your team is going to be silly if you can get the right cards, and in duos, it's usually not that difficult. Quillmores get tier 5 4-3 loyal mobster. At the end of your turn, play a blood gem on all of your teammates' minions. Well, it's not going to buff your board, but it's going to buff your teammates' board. Oh, this is one I don't love. I mean, I'm glad that it buffs my teammates' board, but it doesn't do anything for my board other than be a 4-3 body, which doesn't feel great. It's end of turn effect. You can have Drakari to trigger it, but once again, I'm not sure how excited I am for this one in particular, but what do you think? Finally, undead players, tier 4, 4-4, Sanlean Scribe has +4/+4 for each of your team's Sanlean Scribes that died this game. That's interesting. So they're undead. You're going to reborn them. You're going to be able to get multiples the various ways undead like to cheat out making copies of minions and whatnot. So this could be decent. I don't know. I think I still rather have an Eternal Summoner type thing, but it's harder to get Eternal Summoners on the board in duos sometimes, at least early. So maybe this is going to be better. If anything, it's an interesting, different line. So I'm kind of excited to see how this one works for duo players. This is kind of a neat one. I like this. That's it for the duo cards. What do you think, duo players? Is that interesting? Are those good? I mean, I understand the basics of Battlegrounds, right? So I understand some of what these are going to do, but there are some nuanced differences I miss because I don't play duos very much. But that's everything we have for Pirates and Undead. The duo stuff looks interesting. It doesn't make me want to play duos, but if I do, I will have fun playing with the right people. It makes me actively want to play Pirates. It's going to be that trap where I'm sitting there in the early game like, pirate. And I'm like, a pirate. Like, I'm going to force pirates now because I have to, and then not find any more pirates and die horribly because I got so excited about pirates, I didn't notice the other things offered to me because I wanted to play pirates. It's the trap I step into sometimes. We all do it when we love something in the game. And I love pirates, and these seem to capture the soul of what I want to be doing when playing Battlegrounds, which is cycling a lot of cards, watching my cards get bigger while I do it. What do you think? Are you excited about pirates? Are you excited about the duo stuff? Did I say things completely wrong and you want to point out to me that I'm an idiot because I misread this and I misread that? I didn't even say this word right. Not completely wrong. Sometimes I am, but hey, I'm having fun over here. Thanks for watching all. I hope you learned a few things and you had a good time. Comment, let me know what you think of this stuff because I really do want to hear. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the Battlegrounds. Later.